So let's go and define a ledger, setup, financial, still in the GL responsibility. Accounting Setup Manager is a tool introduced in R12 version, in this version, for streamlining your accounting setups. It will guide you how do you have to set up your structure, accounting structure. So create accounting setup. Next, here it is showing you at higher level what you need to do. I'm opting for next. I'm not defining legal entity right now. I'm going ahead with the setting up of ledger. So it's optional if you want to first set up your legal entity and then your ledger. Either ways you can do. There is no hard and fast rule. You can set up ledger first or then you can set up legal entity. So chart of accounts, the one which we defined, accounting calendar, the one which we defined, and the currency I'm picking up here. Subledger accounting method we can select from the seeded one. Oracle application provides two seeded ones, standard accrual and standard cash. As I mentioned last time, there are two ways of recording business transactions, cash basis and accrual basis. So Oracle provides two here, which is Oracle has defined. These are seeded, defined by Oracle. There's a separate topic called subledger accounting, in which I will be explaining about the subledger accounting method. So for the time being, we are selecting standard accrual. Right now, when you are defining your ledger, you can even skip this step, but when you have your subledgers, accounts payable and accounts receivable implemented, you need to select this option, because from subledgers, from accounts payable, accounts receivables, order management, accounting entries will be passed to general ledger. The general ledger module is nothing but a repository of accounting entries coming from other modules. For that you require a subledger accounting method attached to your ledger here. Go to next. It will give you a lot of caution here. Why? Because once you set up your ledger, you cannot change it. There is no option you can do any kind of changes. Same thing is applicable with your chart of accounts. Once you create it, you cannot change it. You can either end date it, but then even that will not work. It will again cause data corruption. So defining these components is very, very important. These are very business critical components. So have a look at your definition, and if you're fine with that, finish. You can click on finish. Define accounting options. Go to accounting options. Ledgers are associated. Now here our primary ledger is created. Aura ledger is a primary ledger for Orange Business Group. Okay. Here you have various options that you need to set up in this ledger, which we are going to define one by one. Navigate to ledger options. First one, update. This problem generally comes. Why? Because this form which you are seeing in front of you is a self-service form. This is little bit different than what we work on the regular forms here in this application. So the transfer of data might not happen as quickly as we are expecting. It takes time for data to get reflected in this form. It says this chart of account, Aura chart of account is not compiled, whereas it is compiled. We did the compiling, but system is not able to, the information is not able to flow in this form yet. Here it says it is compiled, but it has not yet transferred to this level. So unless until this gets compiled, we cannot move. So let me just go back and recompile 3-4 times. If this happens with you, you can do the same thing. Go back to your chart of account and recompile it a couple of times more. Okay. So let me open this form once again. Initially it will take some time to understand why are we doing all this, but as we progress things will become little more clear. These are only initial setups. Once we get into the application and do the business transactions, you'll start understanding that how crucial these setups are. So it should have been compiled by now. So let us go back to the accounting setup manager, accounting setups, and see. Query your ledger here. Now here the status is still not complete. Your ledger needs to be completed. A green check mark has to appear here. For that you need to go to accounting options and update all the accounting options required. Next. Yeah, now it's compiled. So I'm on step 2. So what is mandatory here is adding your retained earnings account to a ledger. Why do we add a retained earnings account? A ledger is where all the accounting information is recorded for this year, for next year, for previous year also. So throughout life, business will be using these. So throughout business will be using same ledger. Retained earning is an account which stores your leftover balance of the financial year after you have recorded your profits and your debts and paid your loans to the debtors. Whatever is left, that is your residual income, goes to retained earning account, which becomes an opening balance for your next financial year. So that retained earning account you need to attach to your ledger here. You know what's the problem with the form? it opens another form actually where I can select the code combination. These other options we'll see when we do go into the general ledger module. Assign a code combination there. Okay, next, and finish your ledger definition. So your status is now complete here. These other are optional. You don't have to worry about that. Press on complete button to complete your ledger definition. If you do not complete this, you cannot see your ledger in instance. Now the status is complete now. Now I can define legal entities. As I mentioned earlier, it is always advisable to have at least one legal entity. Legal entities are nothing our legal representative with the local government. Now this legal entity is existing in the United States. See, all the companies who that are established in the United States under Orange Business Group will fall under this legal entity. The rules and regulations will be same for all the companies. This is US legal entity. In real time, there will be identifier will be nothing but a registration number. EIN is also nothing but a registration number given to your legal entity. You can create an address. It should have a physical existence too. Maybe the address of your headquarter. You can enter the address here and apply. Define legal entities for all the locations where your business is established. There are two reasons here. First, to capture your legal information, the taxes that you're going to pay to the local government, and secondly, to avail intercompany feature in Oracle application. Now here I am defining another legal entity which is existing, which is there in United Kingdom, UK. This business group has got companies operational in other countries too. So UK is the country where they have their business. Now what the local government wants the taxes to be filed, or what reports needs to be submitted, what accounting needs to be done, is all taken care by these legal entities. In UK there might be some company number. In US we saw some EIN number. In UK there could be some company number. Give an address here. City. Postal code. Then they have some postal codes like these. And apply. So another legal entity is also done. We need to create a relationship between legal entities and ledgers. Go back to your accounting setups, query your ledger, update accounting options, press on this pencil. Here in this topmost block, you need to add legal entities to associate them with your primary ledger. In this ledger, you are performing your accounting. All the accounting gets stored in this ledger, and this ledger needs to be associated with legal entity, because tomorrow if you are or a business is asked to produce a legal entity specific reports, accounting reports, you will be able to do if these legal entities are associated to your ledger. And also, as I said, to do your intercompany transactions, you need to have at least one or two legal entities. And that is one. Another important part is you need to add balancing segment values. Now these legal entities are just like buckets. Within these buckets, inside these buckets, you will have companies. Legal entities are not doing transactions at all. Legal entities are only complying with the local authorities, local governments' rules and regulations. The companies which fall under these legal entities do operations. So you need to assign the companies that we have defined, you need to assign under these legal entities. Say for UK, I need to assign a balancing segment value, which is nothing but company. We call it as a balancing segment value in Oracle application. Is nothing but the companies that we have defined. So for UK legal entity, there is one business, communication business is in UK. So you can select it, start date. Likewise, if a business has got n number of companies, then what all businesses you have, you need to define. Now the same business Orange Communication you cannot assign to a US legal entity. For that you need to again define another one. Apply. Now for US, I am assigning a company which is operational in US, United States, the business which is operational in United States, say Motors, or maybe both of them are operational in United States. Now, company 2 and 3. Now you can transact with the help of this. We will do intercompany setup later on to do the transactions between 01, 02. 02 and 03 can also transact now. So for that we need to do some setups which we'll see later on when we are dealing with intercompany transactions. So our accounting setup, define accounting setup is done, ledgers is done, assign balance segment values to legal entities is done. So this is what is defining your accounting structure. Now we need to define multiple organization structure, a multi-org structure. What is a multi-org structure? Last time we saw a structure like this, a business group. A business group has got an operating unit, has got a ledger, has got a legal entity. Every legal entity, business group has a legal entity, and there is a ledger and an operating unit and inventory organization. So these are nothing but individual organizations. You can remove ledger from here because you already defined it. Doesn't fall under multi-org. Ledger does not fall under multi-org. I hope you remember yesterday's PPT. I don't have it right now on the system. In yesterday's PPT, the diagram which I showed you, topmost it had a business group, then it had a legal entity, then operating unit and inventory organization. So where in a business structure there is existence of all these organizations, it is called a multi-org structure. So that is what you need to define first, the organization structure. Depending upon the number of companies, uh, say your existence in number of uh, countries, you will be defining your ledgers accordingly. So to define your multi-org structure, you need accounting setup to be done first. So accounting setup is ready. Now we need to replicate the real-time business structure in Oracle application. For that we need a responsibility called human resources responsibility. This is human resources vision enterprise. There is already a setup. This is a vision instance. Vision instance means Oracle has already done a setup by the name of Vision Enterprises, a fictitious business. Later on, going forward, we will create our own user ID, our own responsibility. So from here, we can start defining our structure. The first prerequisite here is to define a location. All the all the organization, be a business group, operating unit, inventory organization, they all have a local existence, a physical existence. So you need to have a location and address for all these organizations defined first. So let us define the location. We define it from human resource responsibility, work structures, location. There are two options here, global and local. In single Oracle installation, you can have more than one business groups. Just now we saw an example of one business group with one legal entity, one operating unit, one inventory organization. Likewise, you can have multiple. Now with Orange Business Group, there is also another one, say Siemens Business Group, or take any XYZ business group, which has got airlines business under it, which has got retail business. So this is going to be in the scenario where there is a massive, a huge conglomerate kind of a thing. You understand by conglomerate, right? Which is really big, and it has got n number of business lines operational under it. In those situations, you can enable global. So global is going to share addresses here across business groups in single installation of Oracle application. So yeah, I'll just define a few here. Give some address. Oh, that's wrong. Sometimes cursor starts jumping. We need to go slow. One. Okay. Be very much sure about your addresses. Has to be. Fill in all the mandatory ones. Yellow ones are mandatory, so I have just filled in all the yellow ones. This is my business group location. Click on new, a new record. Address for operating unit. I'm just defining something. It could be in the same location or it could be in a different location. There is another operating unit which I will want to, into two OUs I will want to define. So I am defining another location. See, now this time this operating unit, okay. Okay. So I have these locations defined, and finally you can, okay, it's optional. If you want, you can define inventory organization is where all the warehouses will be located. Business whose manufacturing items need a warehouse to store. Your stores will be located at this inventory location. Not only for storing the items which you produce, which you manufacture, but also for storing the items that we procure, that we purchase. Not all the items we will manufacture and sell. Some items we might purchase, do an enhancement to it and sell. So whatever inventory you have, you need to hold it somewhere. Those are called as stores, warehouses, or your inventory locations. For that you need to have a location address, inventory location address. All my locations are defined. Now before we get into defining the organization structure, defining a business group is optional. Okay, it's not a mandatory step. Wherever there is an implementation done, most of the cases I have seen, they pick up the already defined business group. Oracle application provides with a seeded business group which you can use, because business group is not very much active apart from doing an initial setup. Okay, just to do your organization setup, we need a business group. Not all the company, not all the businesses will have a business group. You're getting me? So if you see some of these small time companies, they don't have a business group. So that doesn't mean you cannot do an organization structure setup. You can still do it. For that reason, Oracle applications provide a default one. Either you can take that and define your structure.